Two surprising updates out of Philly have caught even the most die-hard Eagles fans off guard. A serious injury during practice raised eyebrows, not just because of who went down, but because of who it might affect. Meanwhile, names like Adoree Jackson and Azeez Ojulari have suddenly found themselves at the center of a potential shakeup on defense. Things are heating up in Philly, and what happens next could shift the entire season. If you're a true fan, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Let's get into it. Well, this one's a bit of a curveball. Normally, when a wide receiver goes down, it's the quarterback who's sweating. But in Philly, it's Saquon Barkley who's feeling the ripple effect after wideout. Johnny Wilson suffered a brutal injury at practice this week that'll cost him the entire season. According to Jeff McLean of the Philadelphia Inquirer, Wilson's set for surgery on both his knee and ankle after going down during Tuesday's session. Now, Wilson wasn't exactly lighting up the stat sheet as a pass catcher. He had just 5 grabs for 38 yards and a touchdown last season. But that's not what made him valuable. This guy carved out a niche as Philly's WR4 by doing the dirty work, specifically laying the lumber in the run game. And that role? It's a big reason Saquon just put up a monster 2,005-yard, 13-touchdown campaign that helped the Birds cruise all the way to a Super Bowl LIX dub. Wilson's blocking was like having an extra tight end on the field, quietly setting the edge and clearing the lanes for Barkley to do what he does best, juking soles and breaking ankles. Without him, that dynamic could take a hit, especially with how critical those second-level blocks are in Nick Sirianni's run-heavy scheme. The Eagles aren't in full panic mode, though. They've got depth thanks to a savvy trade with the Texans for John Mechie III, and young guys like Ainias Smith and undrafted rookie Darius Cooper are fighting hard for a spot on the 53-man squad. But replacing Wilson's physicality and nose for the run game, that's going to take more than flashy footwork and clean routes. Let's not forget, Philly had the second-best rushing attack in the league last season, racking up 3,048 yards. Only the Ravens outpaced them. And sure, Jalen Hurts and Barkley got the glory, but it was that offensive line and unselfish guys like Wilson grinding it out that made it all click. Bottom line, this isn't a headline injury in the traditional sense, but don't sleep on the impact. Wilson may not have been a household name, but his absence will definitely be felt in the trenches where games are won. And if that wasn't enough, a brand new report just dropped, and it puts some key Eagles veterans at serious risk of getting cut. NFL negotiations are heating up, and while some teams were in the middle of the action on Wednesday, the Philly Eagles had already made a move, bringing in wide-out John Mechie III from the Texans. But hold on, because the next few weeks are shaping up to be very busy in Philadelphia. Besides having a front office known for being aggressive with trades, looking at you, Howie Roseman, the team also needs to cut the roster down to the final 53 players by August 26, and that's when the headaches begin. Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports released an analysis highlighting 14 veterans on the bubble, and 2 names stand out, Azeez Ojulari and Adoree Jackson. Let's start with Ojulari. He didn't come into training camp on fire, but he's been improving, especially during joint practices against the Browns, where he looked solid. He even grabbed a sack in Saturday's preseason game. Right now, he's the 4th edge rusher in the rotation, which technically keeps him on the roster. But if the Eagles decide to bring in another pass rusher before the season starts, Ojulari could quickly become trade bait. The talent is there, but the situation is volatile. Now about Adoree Jackson. This one's a bit more serious. At 29 years old, he's the veteran competing for the CB2 spot. He's currently ahead of Kelee Ringo, but the arrival of young corner Jacorian Bennett has changed the dynamic. Bennett has been getting more snaps with the starters, and it seems like defensive coordinator Vic Fangio isn't a big fan of Jackson's playing style. And when the coach isn't sold on you, that's a problem. Plus, Jackson's only costing the team $1.5 million. Not a tough cut if Philly wants to give more room to young guys like Eli Ricks. In the end, there's no guarantee that Ojulari or Jackson will actually be released. But if you had to bet on someone getting cut, right now Adoree Jackson looks like the top candidate. The next few weeks will decide a lot in Philly, and both players are officially on alert. This is a tricky moment. A quiet loss could hit harder than expected, and the vets better step up fast. If you want to stay on top of every Eagles update, hit that subscribe button now.